The thought struck me last night. I'd just come home from a long day at work, a long week at work. I walked in the door and I was absolutely starving. My missus was planning on making me a really nice Thai-style curry, but the kids were having McDonald's. And there was no way in hell that I could sit there eating a vegetable Thai curry whilst watching them eat McDonald's. So naturally I went to McDonald's and I picked them up their meals, but whilst I was there, I just said to myself, why not treat myself? Why can't I have McDonald's tonight instead of a vegetable curry? My missus had already told me that she didn't mind, so I thought, yeah, whatever. I'll have the Grand Big Mac, large fries, some mozzarella dippers and a Diet Coke to boot. And I got home and I sat there and I chowed down and I ate the whole thing, probably in about 20 minutes whilst watching YouTube on my phone, the least civilized way to have dinner. An hour passed and I needed the loo, so I sat on the loo and good God, were my guts giving me hell. My guts give me hell every single time I eat McDonald's, and every time I eat McDonald's I seem to forget that this is the case. And every week that I get offered a McDonald's, and in any situation where I know I have the choice between something better and a McDonald's, I will always choose McDonald's. And that is when it hit me that Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is the McDonald's of the video game world. Everything about the two synergize completely. Now look, don't get me wrong, I like McDonald's as much as the next guy, and it definitely fills a place and it serves its purpose within the market. If you want quick food, you don't have time to prepare a nice home cooked meal, then have McDonald's. And the same applies for Call of Duty. How many other games can you just sit down for 10 minutes here and there and play one or two games without having to really invest too much time and too much effort? The thing is with McDonald's, when you eat that burger and you get that taste and you have that fat dripping down your throat, the same endorphins get released in your brain that make you happy as when you go on a 15 kill streak on Call of Duty. Or in the later Call of Duties, you don't even need to get the kill streak, you just need to play the game for a certain amount of time and you get those kill streaks anyway, but you understand my point. Call of Duty gives the same immediate gratification as McDonald's, but the problem lies where McDonald's does not give you those substantial nutrients that you need to sustain your body over a long period of time, and I believe that the same is true for Call of Duty. No matter how you look at it, every meal you get in McDonald's is essentially the same thing. You will have a burger of some description, some fries of some description, and a drink of some description. Now obviously these things vary, but the fundamentals stay the same. It is high carb, high fat, and high satisfaction in a quick amount of time for a relatively cheap price. A lot cheaper than you would get from getting a more substantial meal from going out to a restaurant or a pub, but also a lot more food than you would get if you were going to a bakery and getting a sausage roll or a pasty, for example. It sits nicely in that middle ground, but the problem I have is that Call of Duty tries to do the same thing, but you still have to pay the same price as a game that is much more fleshed out and much more substantial. At the moment, I'm currently feeling like the guy from Super Size Me. I've force-fed myself this shit for the last 2 years, and my brain can't take it anymore, and that's why I've been trying out different games. But the problem is, every time I try out a different game, I've been conditioned by Call of Duty to want this dopamine hard, and I want it fast, and I want it now. And the thing is, you cannot get it in the same way in any other games. But this metaphor between CoD and McDonald's doesn't just stop here. How many times have you seen an advert on your phone, on Facebook, on TV, on the radio about a brand new McDonald's burger? Case in point, the Grand Big Mac that I had on Friday. The Big Mac has been a staple for years and years and years, but still when they advertise the Grand Big Mac, the bigger Big Mac with bacon as brand new, of course I'm going to be drawn to it. And every time this happens, whether it be with the Big Mac Grand, the Big Tasty, any number of the same shit that McDonald's serves me, I get excited and I immediately get disappointed when I buy it and I take that first bite, because the thing is, it is always the same year on year, time after time. Every single burger, every single innovation that they try to make is essentially the exact same thing and still boils down to that McDonald's formula. And can you say that that isn't true for Call of Duty? How many times have you seen a CoD reveal trailer and you get super excited because this looks awesome, and then 2 weeks after the game's release you're sat there scratching your head wondering why the hell you're so bored? And that's because every single game for the last 10 years has essentially been the same, with a few things that have changed. But when things do change, those are the things that push the community away, because they cannot stand the change that they so desperately crave. And this is the issue that we have with CoD. Every time we get a new update, every time we get something new added to the game, we are always going to be disappointed, because the reality of it is that Call of Duty's content holds no more nutritional nutritional value for our brains than a Big Mac does for a McDonald's. The only thing that keeps us coming back is that immediate rush and that thrill of the fast-paced action that CoD 6v6 offers us. But then it doesn't take long for us to realise that there is no depth to this game. You cannot have extra sides. You cannot add a nice red wine reduction to the side of it. You cannot add extra layers to this meal because the formula is always the same. Every single year that Call of Duty releases, you have the same principles and the same level of depth as a Happy Meal. There is never any level of depth or new mechanics that will be enough to keep the replayability high, and that is why so many people get bored of Call of Duty after the first 2 or 3 months every single year that it releases, and this is the problem. Just like me on Friday when I was offered a nice nutritional home-cooked meal, I turned it down in favour of Call of Duty, and I fear that this is what the gaming community is doing currently. There are so many games, so many good home-cooked games that have come out recently that are just getting left by the wayside because people are only interested in playing what they are familiar with and what they find easy to consume. They are stuck chowing down on McDonald's and they are completely ignoring the gourmet burger restaurant 2 miles down the road. If we take a look at a game like Valheim, for example, which literally just came out, it has such a layer of depth to it. There are so many things you can do in this massive procedurally generated world that is different every single time you play, and all comes under the bracket of one tiny little 1 gigabyte game. But at the same time, no one wants to try these new things because they are so hooked on the easy gratification of Call of Duty. The same is true when I tried to play Escape from Tarkov. The game is so deep and has so many layers of depth, and the problem is, because I've been stuck in this Call of Duty mindset for so long, I found it so goddamn hard to wrap my head around all of the different levels and nuances, and it took me ages to get to grips with. Now, my issue is I have to make some sort of content on these things for my YouTube channel, and I cannot do that when I have to put that amount of effort into learning the game. So just like an 18 stone fat bitch, a person who knows that their spots are due to it, the person who knows that they will get diabetes and eventually die because of it, I still keep going back to Call of Duty even though I know that it is ultimately bad for my health. And I think that the same can be said for a lot of us. Call of Duty does have room to grow, and we have seen with things like Warzone that there are ways in which it can change, but the issue is when the people in control, Activision, are only there to milk us dry of every single penny we have, we are going to be forced to eat another year of Big Macs if we are not careful. The new Call of Duty will be coming out this autumn. That is the only thing that we know for certain, apart from the fact that it will be another rehash of the exact same shit that we have been fed so far. And I really worry that if it goes on any further, Call of Duty, the way that we know it and the way that we love, will be lost forever because we will never ever be satisfied with the new offerings that they bring to us. But anyway, that's just my observation, and I really would like to know what you guys think. Do you think that there are real parallels that can be drawn from the fast food industry and Call of Duty? Anyway, that's it from me today. I'm Average Joel. Peace.